Action stations.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, worshippers of all ages, welcome to YouTube. My name is SeaRaptor, and we're back with another battle report, this time from the bridge of Tier VIII British light cruiser HMS Edinburgh. Now, if you've been watching me on Twitch or hanging out here on the channel, you're a regular viewer, you know that I chose about 6-7 weeks ago, whenever the hell I did it, to regrind the British cruiser line as a part of the Research Bureau. I really enjoy these ships. And from some earlier clips, or possibly watching me on Twitch, you might know that for Tier VIII, I was playing Radar Edinburgh. I was not playing Smoke Edinburgh. And so you see that here. Once again, I am zoning into a game here on Northern Lights. Is this Northern Lights or North? This looks like Northern Lights. With, of course, Radar here in my Tier VIII Edinburgh. Now, before I get too far into this replay, I have to give a huge shout out to fellow community contributor out of the EU, Pointy Hair Jedi. This replay actually comes from 8.10. This is an early December game, and I failed to save my old client, so I was not able to record this replay. PHJ was kind enough to record this replay for me and send it over, so huge props to him, and big mega help for the assistance. So starting into this game as a radar cruiser here, I'm going to try and push up and see what I can see, because I know if I'm spotted, then the enemy destroyers are within my radar range. I'm hot on the tail of this friendly Fletcher, right in front of me, who does something unlike you don't normally see out of a lot of teammates these days. That's right, guys. He lays smoke for me. Now, he doesn't even know that I'm radar. I haven't told anybody, right? He has no idea. He just puts up this smoke screen, and I start going to town. It's pretty awesome, actually. We're going to see this guy again, but as far as I'm concerned, he's already the hero of this match. He manages to face spot this Akatsuki here. We catch a glimpse of him. I get some shots out. The radar comes up. And yep, it's time to make this guy pay for his positional decisions. We get a big salvo into him there, and another big salvo, about 8k into him. But unfortunately, he does manage to get behind cover. So I'm not going to get as much out of this radar as I would have liked, but it's not a complete disaster. With my Hydra up, I can easily see these torpedoes coming. I have to play some speed games and you know, just try to avoid the torpedoes as the enemy Alaska decides, well, let's see who's in this smoke. So now I'm radared, but the only person who really has good shots on me is that Gneisenau way out on the 2 line. He's essentially stopped right now. I haven't figured that out yet. You're going to see me struggle for a couple of salvos to figure out what this guy's doing. Is he reversing? Is he stationary? What's he doing? Turns out he is reversing. He will be shortly. So he can see me, and I'm essentially daring him to do something. Right, I'm sitting here stationary, I'm about to start backing up. I don't care that his guns can probably citadel me, because honestly, I played a Gneisenau, and I don't trust his guns to hit the broadside of a barn. So to some extent, and now that the radar's expired, he can't see me more, but I was being intentionally cheeky, like, alright, you can see me, sure, but I dare you to do something about it. And, ultimately, he wasn't able to. 3.5 minutes gone, both teams down a destroyer just that quickly. We've managed to take out the enemy Tashkent, as our Z-46 picks up D, and we start working out to a small lead here. We are also down a destroyer as well. Now, the Fletcher and the Black spend most of the game kind of hanging out over here with me by B and C, and they do a really good job of just doing what they do. The Black, of course, bringing his radar in, using it to keep the enemy team off of C early. The Fletcher bringing his smoke, allowing me to just farm some damage off this Gneisenau, but ultimately, the real battle, the real interesting action is all the early interesting action all took place at D. The enemy team essentially gave us D for free, which is a big surprise. You don't normally see that on this map configuration, but they did here. So, team took advantage of it, and now for me, the battle starts to become about C. We're not in a position to take A, so fine. As my smoke expires, I decide I don't want to test this Gneisenau's guns any further. This Synop up here looks like he might be trying to kind of slide down this gap on the 4 line, so I get up here, leave him some torpedoes, but he is inside my detection range. My surface detection is about 9.2, so he can see me very clearly. I give him the stern torpedoes there as I turn and show him a horrible angle as I run south. I have no intention of giving him much more than this right now. But I figure why not? You know, he can see me, sure, I might as well get some shots into him. I could have declined the shots and gone dark back here, but once again, it's a little early, and I don't really mind. Now, this torpedo salvo is ill-advised. I didn't see the Fletcher until too late. Luckily, He pulls the brakes and dodges them, but I could have just very easily torpedoed a teammate there. And remember, guys, if it's your torpedoes, it's your fault. Friendly torpedoes aren't friendly, and just because somebody else sailed into the way of them, they're still yours. You gotta own them. That would have been my fault if I'd torpedoed him. Luckily, he had my back, as he does repeatedly over the course of this game. We're just getting warmed up. 5 minutes gone, we're working out to a small lead here as they've managed to shove a battleship. There's an Amagi in C and a Fletcher. They're tag-teaming C together right now as the Black, the Richelieu, and the Saint Louis over there try to kind of keep them off the cap, keep resetting them. They can see very plainly see the Amagi. Nobody's really resetting him at the moment, so I decide I'm going to turn my guns over there and start getting into the fight. Now, I'm heading east now because I don't know where the Akatsuki is, but I know for a fact the Fletcher is in C. I can't get my shells onto the Amagi in time. They do bag C, but I'm here for this Fletcher. In a moment, there we go. Somebody's got him radared. Somebody can spot him. I'm not exactly sure who. It's the Black, I think. Yes, I see now in chat the Black's got his radar up. So the Fletcher is in kind of a bit of a pickle here. Spotted by me, spotted by the Richelieu, spotted by the Black and the Fletcher to his south. Trying to stay in his smoke screen. Ducks out of it briefly here. You can see the lines on the map. He's outside of it. Between the Black radar, my radar, he's face spotted. He's dead. And he becomes kill number 1. There's a Neptune back there in smoke as well that we could see, but again, thanks to the Black's radar. And he's now the one he's the one camped in C. Of course, they did manage to pick up C. So now that I can't spot anybody, well, throw some more torpedoes into there. And I want to know where this Neptune is. Where did he go? Let's find out. So, surprise! I see you! So he's trying to reverse out of the cap and trying to get some island cover up there. Let's see if I can get some damage into this guy before he goes. First couple of salvos, he can't see me, but if you look off my stern, you can see there's an Alaska back there, and as I continue to push forward, bam, the Alaska can actually pick me up now. Neptune is going to go back as far as he can. He's eventually going to beach himself back here, right there. He can reverse no farther. He's stern onto the island, and so he decides to go forward for whatever reason. Probably because he doesn't have much else he really can be doing. So, try to get him off the board. He's going to turn and show me a beautiful angle here. This could be a really good salvo. Watch it. I'm watching it. I'm watching it. And, oh, yes, sir. That was an excellent salvo. And we managed to bag the Amagi. The Saint Louis bags the Neptune. And that finally claws it back to 7 ships on our side to 8 on theirs. We had been down 3 ships, but 2 quick kills there brings us back within striking distance as they now have a small lead with 8 minutes gone. We've cleaned them out of the C cap. We're in pretty firm control of the ways to the D cap for the moment. And there were a bunch of teammates over on the 3 line. I can't really back up, but one of the reasons I came over to play at sea was there was a Cleveland and a battleship and somebody else on the 3 line behind me. And I was like, great, you guys have got this. Well, where are they all now? Yep, they're all dead. Fantastic. I could be taking shots at this Alaska, but at this angle, he can see me, and I want no part of that guy's guns. He can ruin my day with those 12-inch guns. Alaska is a great cruiser killer, and I want to give him the opportunity. He starts to go behind the island here, and I think, oh, I'm out of line of sight, but as I fire, no, somebody has line of sight to me. I don't know who. Obviously, it's one of the destroyers. But without knowing what the range is, hello, one of them is the enemy Friesland. Now, this guy's firing AP at me. This is smart. I mean, on his part. The trick is that, as an Edinburgh, I don't really care. I'll sit here and take damage from his puny little shells all day long because I can just heal, almost all of it back with my ridiculous British cruiser heal. So, you just do your thing, little Friesland. I'm more concerned about trying to stay angled to the Sinop and the Gneisenau. Those guys can hurt me. Getting in a gunfight with this dude doesn't bother me in the least. At long range, both of us are going to struggle to hit each other. He's a smaller target, yes. I put more shells down range. Both of our shells are kind of floaty. Whatever. I do continue to hit him, some here and there. I'm mostly really trying to stay frosty for this Gneisenau. That could hurt. Nope. Whew, overpen. And now, down to 500 HP on this guy. 50 HP on this Friesland. I had one little dinky shell to connect. And I just decide I'm going to write him off. So, The Gneisen now seems to be pushing up into torpedo range. He gets the single torps because British cruiser. As I'm still trying to trade fire with this Friesland, but he decides, nope, had enough. He smokes up and bails. The Akatsuki, I catch a glimpse of him. You see him there. Somebody highlights him on the map right as we lose sight of him. Well, hang on a minute. He's in my radar range. I know just what to do. This guy may have escaped my wrath earlier this game, but he's not going to escape it now as he turns right into the salvo I've left for him. And, yeah, you're done, sir. GG.
Enemy destroyer sunk.
Still upside down 2 ships. We are up 2 caps here, so we're down on firepower and points, but over the long haul, our board position is not awful. They have to be making some very difficult choices. That Synop did push down the 4 line behind me, but I'm really focused on this Gneiss. I do get a torp and a flood into him, which feels really good. As the Alaska and the Synop are both trying to end my game. You can see there the Gneiss is flooding for a little bit. I keep hoping one of these black torps is going to land, but he manages to just dodge them. This Gneiss has been doing something all game that just frustrates the bejesus out of me, and that is reversing. I mean, I'm sorry. This guy could have pushed me off this cap a long time ago if he only knew where his forward button was. But he doesn't, so he gets to sit back there while I chip him to death, and he floods to death, and he has to dodge destroyer torpedoes all day. The black, once again, pops his radar, finishes off those last 50 HP the Friesland had, and as here I am trying to get shells on this Synop, who's a very low target, very easy. Like, that should be a few salvos if I can get him on there. But one of the destroyers, that's the Fletcher, takes care of the problem. And so now, once again, it's 5v5, and the tables have turned. We're up on points. So now, all we really have to do is play defense. I don't have to be taking shots at this Gneiss, but I'm kind of like, why not? I mean, he's firing AP at me, so he's doing the right thing, but I know how unreliable his guns are. You can see the salvos I'm getting into him. He's low. Why leave him over here? Why leave him alive? I just don't see the value in it. So, between me and the black, we should be able to out-DPS him, especially since he's on fire. Looks like at least 1 fire, possibly 2. Just a few shells here and there, and we can get this guy off the board and end this threat on this flank. Ticking away there, under 1,000, and sooner or later, yep, there he goes. Kill number 3. Pretty good little game so far, and a ship with no smoke and down to my last radar. So once again now, with a ship lead, a 1-ship lead, and a 2-cap lead, the impetus is completely on the enemy team. They have to do something, anything, to change the status quo. They have to make a play. So again, there's nothing else for me on this flank. I decide I'm going to cut back to the east as I have a little conversation here in a moment with my friendly black. I eventually tell him to go Cap A. That's what my thinking is. Keep your foot on the jugular. But the reality is, and he calls me out on it, he's correct. There's no need for us to go Cap A. We already have a cap lead. They have to come to us. And I'm like, yeah, duh, of course. So he says, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm going to spot, keep doing your thing. They have to make a play. And it looks like, if you read the minimap, they're making their play at C. The Hipper's trying to push in, but he's pretty low over there, 10k or so. And he's trying to push into a Richelieu now. The Richelieu can't overmatch his bow, but if the Richie just switches to HE, this guy's going to have a bad day. And you can see there, the Richelieu was firing HE at him. But he makes a mistake. He slows down like he's going to stop. It's a bad idea. Too late. And now we can see someone is, in fact, in C as we get over the 900 point line. We have no eyes into the cap, but we can see now as the Otago was last spotted on the rear. We caught a glimpse of the Cleveland a moment ago. So it's probably the Otago. The Alaska, I'd like to think we could spot, or at least we'd have an idea where yep, there he is. It is the Otago coming into the cap, sailing right out in front of the Richelieu. Surprised by this, but look off my bow. Look at my hero Fletcher. Look at this guy. Second time this game, he's leaving me a smoke screen. You bet your butt I complimented this guy before this game was over. And now here we burn the last radar to keep tabs on this Otago. I'm 100% confident he's trying to torpedo this Richelieu. You can see there the torpedo's going in on the Richie. Great salvo. There's my high caliber. One more salvo going out on this Otago. Richie does manage to dodge the torps, but not the shells, as the Otago pays the price for his aggressive move. And now they're down to just the Alaska and the Cleveland in the cap. Now what's interesting about this section now, is that I'm clearly sitting in smoke, and both of these guys are either out of radar charges, or they simply don't, their radar's on cooldown. For whatever reason, I'm able to sit in the last few seconds of this Fletcher smoke and just farm them mercilessly. Right now, I'm just trying for the resets. Regardless of the score, you can see there we're under 40 points to go. I do not want them to cap. I don't want to risk the game. Never give your team a chance to throw the game, right? Alaska's turning around. This is not a guy I want to be at this range with, but with time ticking away, I feel okay taking at least taking the risk. He has to spot me. He hasn't spotted me yet. My detection in smoke, firing my guns is about 5-ish, 4.5, 4.8, something like this. It's quite low. So he'd have to get much closer before you can spot me firing in here. He takes a pot shot. He's not going to get anything out of it. And these guys are going to live. Time ticking away here. But yep, there we go. So why am I showing you this game other than the fact that it's a really, really, really good game for me in HMS Edinburgh? Mainly because I feel like a lot of people underestimate the value of Radar Edinburgh in randoms. They're too afraid of their own cruiser skills, positioning skills, or even they don't trust their teammates enough to help them out a little bit. And you can see there that, I mean, I understand why that concern exists. Nobody really trusts their teammates in random battles. But every now and then, as we see here with that hero Fletcher, your teammates will pick you up. The other thing is that Edinburgh is quite maneuverable. You can kite, you can go dark. Her detection is very trolly, so I'm a huge fan of Radar Edinburgh, no matter what format you play her in. Randoms, ranked, whatever. I feel like she's a really, really solid ship, and I love highlighting a game like this with over 3,000 base XP, where you can see the value of taking radar instead of smoke in that consumable slot. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there, and talk to you later.